Mark Vandermeer, John Harris with you, Coach. I know it was a tough one to take against the Buffalo Bills, and you were asked in your press conference about turning the page. I know you do that right away to get ready for the Patriots on Sunday.
Yeah, we do it right away. We go back, we look at the video from yesterday. Obviously, it wasn't very good, but there were some things that we knew we needed to correct. We're going to correct those things. The things that didn't happen yesterday that we wish would have happened are very correctable, and we're going to move forward with that.
Coach, how this is going to sound weird, but how tough is it to fight the thought of, I don't even want to look at that film yesterday. That's not us. That's not the way we play. Let's forget and move on to New England. How tough is it to fight that sort of feeling?
Well, I'll say this, John. You know, I like what you said about that's not us.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday on that field, what we gave was us yesterday.
Yeah.
That's not who we want to be. That's not who we are going to be. It was that way yesterday, and basically what we do is you'd like to throw that film away, but there's things on that film that was correctable, that they need to see and they need to correct, and you know, we're responsible for that. I mean, they're responsible for what we do on the field, and it wasn't very good yesterday, and there's a reason why it wasn't very good, and so that's why we watch the video, we come back, we correct it, we move forward, get it corrected, and then go to the next one.
Coach, we know you wanted to run the ball better yesterday than you did against Carolina. It didn't happen, unfortunately, but is it different reasons that factored into that, or is it a similar thing that keeps happening that you need to correct overall moving into the New England game?
Well, the big thing is staying above the chains. We had situations yesterday where we had good runs on first and second down. We end up getting a penalty, a holding penalty, that puts us back in the first and 20 or second and long, which makes us go to third and long. And when you get in those situations, it's tough to run the ball to get those yardages back, especially when they're 10-yard penalties. And basically, we got to eliminate the penalties. We got to be more disciplined there. And when we are, just like the first couple of ball games that we played, we stayed above the chains. We were able to try to do what we wanted to do. The last two ball games, we haven't been able to do that. And part of that also is, too, us staying on the field, not turning the ball over, not fumbling the ball, where we can be able to sustain drives. And when you're committing those turnovers and you're having those penalties, you can't sustain it whether you're running or you're passing.
And the result of that, Coach, ends up being your defense ends up being on the field for a while. And you look at the box score and you stop it at third quarter and you go, hey, it's 19-0, which, albeit not great, but considering the stress they had been under, to only give up 4 field goals to that point, at some point the dam breaks. Your defense, you and I talked at halftime, we talked after the game, and we talked about it this morning. There's a level of pride in kind of watching them play. They're playing physical. There are guys getting there. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, but what are you seeing from your defensive side that gives you hope that that is the way you want to play with that group and that's the way you want to play with the Texans?
Well, they'll continue to play that way, and they've played that way to this point. The difference was that we haven't had to play with – they haven't had to be on the field with 4 turnovers.
Right.
They haven't had to be on the field with us not being able to stay on the field and ball control, which is part of what we want to do.
Sure.
And part of that is being able to run the football. But to run the football, you got to eliminate those penalties. When you do that, you keep your defense off the field. But I was not surprised at all with those guys where they played on defense. They've been playing good team defense. They were down in the red zone. I think Buffalo was 7 times. I think they got 3 or 4 field goals.
Yeah.
I mean, which is a win for us.
Yeah.
But when you get that to happen and you don't do what you need to do and sustain drives on offense and get the ball in the end zone, this is what happens.
Coach, playing in the rain is tough, no doubt, and I know you're not using this as an excuse, but there you are playing the Buffalo Bills at their place in the rain, and you have a rookie quarterback, and it's tough to get the ball moving, but there's Josh Allen on his first throw throwing an interception, so apparently it's pretty tough for both teams. What were the conditions like for the team?
Well, I mean, when it's wet, it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, Mark, every snap that you take, that ball is clean. I mean, we're never taking a snap out there, even when it's raining. The officials always have the ball covered. The ball boys that bring the ball in, everything is always good, that standpoint. I mean, it just becomes a factor of where every now and then that your hands get a little slippery, you know, those kinds of things. But for the most part, the weather didn't really have anything. I think the first throw that Josh made, I don't think the rain had anything to do with that. I thought we had something to do with that. And then I think the one time that Davis went back to throw, it slipped out of his hand. It wasn't so much the wet balls, it was his hands. You know, so the rain was not a factor. usually when it's raining or it's snowing, there's clean balls. I mean, you still play the game and you still do what you have to do.
Which is worse, the snow? You play quarterback. Which is worse, snow or rain?
Well, the snow, simply because when it's snowing, and I've been up there when it's really been snowing, it's just seeing the whole field, seeing things happening. When it's raining. I mean, you can see right through that.
Yeah.
But when that snow's coming down, you don't really get to visualize and see the entire field and see things happen. But for the most part, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You make the adjustments. You go do what you need to do, regardless of the weather conditions. They had the same conditions we did, and, you just got to move forward with it.
Coach, you're such a positive person, and how important is it to remind the guys that despite the loss and how hard it was, you did play in the rain. So if you encounter those kind of conditions again, Davis especially being a rookie, you're ready for that, and at least you've seen it before.
That, and Mark, that's true. But the most important thing about that yesterday was this, is had we not turned the ball over, had we not had those penalties, the rain would not have been a factor. And so moving forward, again, I don't ever want to use that excuse, and we never will. But, I mean, that's part of football, you know. And basically you just go on and you just do what you got to do to we always say, to win a football game, you got to keep from losing it, Right. And the way you do that is to not turn it over and then try to play penalty-free. Yesterday we had more penalties than we had offense at one point. So, those things are detrimental to being able to be successful as an offense.
Coach, when you look across the field, you see a guy that you coached when he was a rookie, and you see him now into his fourth season, that being Josh Allen, and you see what he was able to do yesterday, what you studied him on film. Are there lessons in how Josh has grown up that maybe can be used for Davis Mills as a rookie to look across and go, hey, when I had that guy when he was a rookie, he had struggles. There were things that he did that – weren't exactly like he's doing them now. Now you fast forward to 2021 and you see him and you go, man, that guy's an MVP candidate. He could be leading a Super Bowl team. Are there lessons in what Josh has done that maybe can help with Davis down the road, you think?
Yes, being patient.
Yeah.
Being patient and basically just taking the video, looking at it for what it is. When you make mistakes, don't make them twice. And just keep getting fundamentally sound. And that's basically over the years what I've seen that Josh has done, that all young quarterbacks, that when they're playing, you keep playing with that mentality of getting better each time, getting better each day, and then making good decisions and protecting the football. And then what ends up happening as you get older, those are growing pains. Yeah. But unfortunately you have those growing pains sometimes, and you have a day like we had yesterday. But I have the utmost confidence in him. Our football team has the utmost confidence in him, and he's going to get better, and he'll be better.
Coach, you said in your post-game press conference about the 4th and 3, want to be aggressive, want to get 7s, not 3s. Was there a throw to be made? Because obviously Hughes got a hand on it. You want him to go higher, like loop it over his head? Is that safe? What were you looking for there that wasn't done?
Mark, the thing about that play was Timmy and our offensive staff called a heck of a play right there. As a matter of fact, when you go back and you look at it really closely, if Davis is able to get that ball to David Johnson, it's a touchdown.
Right.
And it's going to be 7-0 Texans, and it changes the whole complexion of what going forward, with what happens with our football team, what happens with their football team. Their defensive end got his hand on it. He tipped it, and that's what happens.
Right.
How'd you feel later after the game looking back? Would you want to point, or did you feel like, yeah, you know what? I thought the best thing, because I was thinking the same thing, because we were talking about on the broadcast, do you take 3 here, do you not? You say having to go for 7s was the right thing to do. Do you ever have second thoughts about it later on, or are you just like, you know what, I'm living with it, no regrets?
Not at all. Playing that football team, we knew going in that 3s were not going to win the football game. You're going to have 7s. We were in a situation to get 7. Timmy called a great play at that point to get a 7. We just didn't execute it. And if we executed, then you're probably telling me what a great call I made.
Well, the thing about it is it was a great play call, because 2 years ago it worked for him for a touchdown against them. Same defense, same play call, worked for a touchdown, and he's wide open, and Jerry made a heck of a play. Coach, New England coming to town. I know 24-hour rule, you've probably gotten too much into the Patriots at this point, especially being different over the years, but you have faced them when you were with Buffalo. I'm sure you faced them over the years when you were with Kansas City. think we kind of know a little bit about what they do, but what are some of the things that New England overall, some of the issues they present that you'll have to be tackling this week, getting ready for them?
Well, defensively, obviously with Coach Belichick there, they always have a great plan, and their plan each week is different from the week before, depending on what team you played. So when you watch them on video, the game before, what you see then or what you've seen before may not be what you see when they play you.
Right.
They're going to game plan you defensively to what they feel like they need to do to stop you and take the advantages away from you. And then offensively, they've got a rookie quarterback right there that's playing pretty good. I did not see the game last night, but I know it went down to the wire, I believe, at the end, and the field goal won it. What they do is they don't commit turnovers and they don't make mistakes.
Right.
And when you do that, regardless of whether you're playing with a rookie quarterback or a 15-year veteran quarterback, you're going to have a chance. And they're that kind of football team, and they do it in all three phases.
Since they change every week and it's game plan defense, offensively, how do you simulate for the look team what they do in practice? Is it more about the personnel and what you think they might do? It's got to be what you think they might do, but how do you handle that?
Well, Mark, the other thing that we do, too, is we'll go back and we'll look at teams that they may have played that's similar to what we're doing and kind of see how they played them. If not, then you just kind of know that we know what our strengths and our weaknesses are, and we know they're going to try to take away our strengths. And what we got to do, we got to counter that with being able to understand that we know that in order for them to stop this particular run or this particular pass, this is how they're going to play, and be prepared for that.
Coach, before the game, I saw you talking to a good friend of mine, Sal Capaccio, sideline reporter for Buffalo. I saw you greeting, I don't know how many different people. The respect they have for you was just off the charts. How was that going back there to Buffalo to play up there, to play against them and see those people? And the flip side of that is they've had some lean years, as Sal told me, and now they've got success. What does that success mean to that community up there?
Well, that's a great football community. They've got a lot of history. What people don't realize, although they haven't won a Super Bowl, is they're the only team in the history of the NFL to go to 4 straight Super Bowls, which is an amazing feat. Unfortunately, lost all 4. But I happened to be there with Tyrod in 2017 or 2018, my first year there. And all we heard about going into the year was it's been 17 years since they've been in the playoffs. You're playing for next year. You're playing for draft picks, those kinds of things. And our football team didn't feel that way. And right now, this football team right now that we have here, obviously, it's a new football team from the standpoint of what it was, but it's a football team that I see a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
I see a lot of similarities in that the veterans that are on this football team right now are about winning. Yeah. They understand what happened yesterday. They know what we got to do to correct yesterday. But when I went up there and although I got all those greetings, first of all, the first thing I'm saying, I thought they was trying to butter me up, set me up. But the point is that they've done it the right way. I know what they're doing up there has gotten them in a situation right now to where that they're a playoff championship caliber team, and I know that formula works, and we're going to use a similar formula here, and as we get to the point to where we're executing what we need to do, we'll see those same results.
Coach, what can you do for Davis Mills this week to sort of get this one behind him and get him some confidence in practice? I hate to use that word because I don't live inside his brain, but he needs to make some throws in the game and get going, get some rhythm each and every Sunday. So what can you do to help him this week?
Well, I think that starts with what we do offensively when we're running the ball. We have to be able to get that established. And when you're not having that established, then all of a sudden, people kind of pin their ears back on you. They kind of know that this is what you're going to do. They got a rookie quarterback who's going through some growing pains right now. But the point of that is that his confidence is ultra. I mean, he has the most confidence of any rookie quarterback I've ever been around. And he doesn't let things get him down. He won't let this get – does it hurt? Sure it hurts. It hurts us all when that happens. But the point is he understands is that we're the enemy, and we can correct what's been happening with him, what's been happening with our offense, and what's been happening with our team. And once we start doing the things that we know we need to do to win football games, Davis Mills will be fine.
Coach, coming out of a game like that, you mentioned having the veterans. How important is it to have veterans as a head coach, to have – you're not in the locker room 24/7, 365, but those veterans are to help those young guys say, hey, look, this ain't it. This isn't the way it's supposed to. How important is it to have those veterans at this point in particular right now to kind of – get through a really tough spot. Like I said, you can't be there all the time, but they can. How important is to have them to help you lead the way in some sense?
I felt it last night in the dressing room after I spoke to the team. After I spoke to the team, there was 3 or 4 veterans that got up and spoke to the team, got them all up, and basically they've been there. They've been there on days like we had yesterday, and they don't last. Right. You know, you got to move on, and basically they had told those guys that, listen, this is a game. We didn't play very well. We got our butts beat. We move on to the next one. We correct what we needed to correct, and then good things will happen because they've been there and they've done that, and they've seen it happen. And I'll just say this here too. I've been on football teams that's lost like 6 or 7 in a row. Yeah. I've been on football teams that's won 12 in a row in this league. And basically it's got to be, and we're going to make sure this happens, is the only thing that matters is the next game that you play. And you don't look any further than that. And it's just the next game. That's all that matters. And it's the New England Patriots for us.
Yeah, you said something in your press conference that was interesting. The losses all hurt. It doesn't matter what the number is, right? The number is irrelevant. It's a W or an L, right? So you just take it and move on, try to improve next week.
And Mark, again, that's all that matters with us. When I came here and we kept talking about, people talk about numbers and guys having these stats. Really, the only stat that matters is not a number. It is a letter, and it's the W's and the L's. We're 1-3 right now. It's not where we want to be. We feel like we can get that thing flipped around because the bottom line is getting wins. And the way you get wins is to play good football, good sound football, and then those wins will come. And right now, we get ourselves getting ready just to think about New England Patriots, correcting what we did yesterday, and move on, and we feel like we'll get our win.
And, Coach, from you, just as a head coach, we talk about this a lot. You've talked about it a lot, about just consistency. How important is it for you as the ultimate leader of the team to be consistent in the message, consistent in the way that you talk to players? How important is that for you to kind of mirror that, what you're asking them to do for you to do as well?
That message is not going to change. We've had that message from the go. Yep. That message is still there. You and Mark asked me about the veterans on this team.
Yeah.
That's the same message that they told our team last night.
Right.
Is that it's about consistency. It's about doing things the right way. And I know they understand that. And basically, we're going to go ahead and continue to do what we've been doing. We've just got to do it better. And that's where our coaching staff has got to come in. And that's why they put C before our name, is to make sure we get those things right. And we'll get those things right because that's a good locker room. Yep. That's a great bunch of guys in there. And we got a little adversity right now. And let me tell you what we'll find out. We'll find out about this group right now. And I know with this group right now what's in that room, and I feel good moving forward with these guys.
I know it's all about you, all about the Texans, but when you look at the AFC South, Coach, everybody's bunched in pretty tight here. So that's another positive, really, as you move forward into the next week.
Mark, I don't ever like to talk about that very much, but after 4 ball games, I think the team that's leading our division is a game ahead of us.
Right.
And the bottom line is the division is the first thing that we want to get. And from that standpoint, moving forward, we control our own destiny from that standpoint. And that's always encouraging at this point to know that all you got to do is take care of the next game and then let everything else take care of itself. And then right now, we're right in the thick of it in our division, which is all that matters.
Coach, playing the Patriots, they got a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones. I would imagine Mac was maybe somebody that you guys studied as you got ready for the draft. If so, what'd you think about him? And are you seeing those things translate from his time in Alabama to his time with the Patriots?
Well, obviously, with us last year in the draft not really having a first or second-round draft pick, we didn't study him very much simply because we knew he wasn't going to be there. So that tells you right now about the kind of quarterback that he was coming out, that how everybody felt about him. Obviously, the Patriots knew what they were getting when they got him, and he's obviously it looks like he's got a great future. But as I said before, when you're playing those guys like that, we're not going to help his future.
Yeah.
Moving
forward. He's
forward.
Still a rookie.
He's still a rookie, and you know what? He's playing us. We're playing pretty good on defense right now. We're going to get what we've got done on offense corrected, and then we're going to beat the Texans.
Coach, what about being in front of the home fans? Because after being on the road in that environment, it's going to be nice to be at NRG Stadium.
Very good. And being home here is an advantage. There is no doubt. That same feel that I'm sure the Bills got when they've been up there, I've been there, we get that same feeling when we're here with our fans. And they are a 12th man, without a doubt. And basically our football team understands that. And then we know that when we travel, sometimes when you travel and you go away, it's just you and the football team. Yeah. It's nobody else, you know. And except for all of you all that's with us, but you all got jobs to do, you know.
Right.
So when we're home, that 12th man is very important. And here at NRG Stadium with the Texans fans, you know, we always like to think that that's an extra score for us when we're playing at home and you're playing with your fans. And that's how we look at it, and we're looking forward to being back home.
Coach is allowed to say 12th man, by the way, because he coached at A&M. So
yes,
he's
contractually allowed to say it because he has some Aggie DNA in there in his resume. I get it.
Because Aggies are like, Coach. So
I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to copyright it.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
They get a little bent out of shape.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, the Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week, and allow me to indulge here because this is about, you mentioned to the media once upon a time about watching movies or whatever. Give me one or two of your favorite football movies or sports movies that you've enjoyed over the years that really stand out above the others to you.
I don't watch a bunch of those kinds of movies.
Really?
I really don't.
Too close to home?
Well, it's not so much that it's too close to home. It's just that I'm more into the horror movies.
Oh, really?
I am into the horror movies.
Okay, give me one or two of your favorite horror movies.
Friday Night Lights. That was a horror movie.
Johnny didn't like
I'm going to tell you, one of my favorite, going way back, and it might have been one of the best that's ever been, was The Exorcist.
Oh, my gosh.
I know it, and I know, forgive me, but I'm telling you, and I realize I still see her turning her head.
I know.
I can't, Coach.
But
I can't.
I
can't do it.
Coach, I can't even. If I see that,
sleep for a week.
If I see it on the channel guide, I go right. I can't even acknowledge. It's so scary.
Well, listen, they did a couple of others after that, but when I saw those, I kept going back to the first one because all I could see was that head turning. And I wanted to see it.
Okay, all right, Coach. Exorcist or Carrie?
Carrie's a really good one too. Carrie may be number 2. Carrie may be number 2.
I have a friend of mine who, back when Blockbuster was a thing and they used to have the VCR, tapes, the VHS tapes, he was so scared of Carrie, and my other buddy knew it. Like, he would take that tape and move it around and, like, put it in front of him and see it, and he would freak out every time. He hated that movie because it was he was more scared at that movie than he was at any other movie ever. So I would go Carrie scarier than Exorcist.
It's maybe scary. Speaking of VHS, I'm going to go ahead and say this so it tells you how old we are.
Yeah.
I got them both on VHS.
Do you still have a player?
I do have a player. The player's not hooked up, but I do have a player. I'm thinking about maybe having them transferred over to video. But you know what, though, when you do that, it's not the same. I mean, I got to see the original on VHS, just like they made it at the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because, I'm sure you could get, punch up whatever you need, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Digitally.
I usually go right straight to the head,
So, Coach, when they make the movie of your life, who do you want playing you?
I don't know if anybody want to play me,
Somebody's
Who would I want?
You.
Obviously, I'd want Denzel Washington to play me.
All right.
I mean, please. Come on now.
Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck this week.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, both of you.